So PBD had on Netanyahu, who is considered by most to be a war criminal. Yet he still refuses to have Nick Fuentes on, specifically because he says the N-word. That is just a word. Nick Fuentes has not killed anybody. He's assaulted one person that tried to kill him, showed up his door. Nevertheless...
It was a woman. God only knows what she did. I'm not defending her, but
nevertheless, he responded to Nick because Nick called him out for having Netanyahu on his show. So we're going to play that clip for you as well, and then we both have some choice words to respond to him with. So here we go. We're going to play that one for you as well.
You platform Tate and use the same kind of language. Anyone who has seen my interviews knows I'm cordial and respectful, including on your own network with Adam. It's your prerogative, but I don't think anyone is buying this excuse. And Nick, great to see you here. Tate is half black, half white. His father is black. I believe you're white and Hispanic. He's talking about the N-word. Yeah. I may be wrong. By the way, you are cordial in interviews. Adam actually said that. However, you do get carried away post-interview at times when you react. And then is there a follow-up there? Is that it? Maybe that's it. No, okay. Seems like the goalpost is moving. Now the issue is that I'm using the N-word in my reaction. Not necessarily. I actually wouldn't mind sitting down and having a conversation with him. I'm just telling.
From Nick.
And
what
he
I'm
said
saying
that
to
multiple
him
times, and that's what bugs me is he continues to say, well, I would have no problem sitting down and having a conversation.
Yeah,
I would
he's not
actually
there.
enjoy it. Yet he refuses to invite him on. But he's going to have a war criminal. Nick had said it last night. Probably some, not all, but some of the people that he has say it behind closed doors. Listen, at the end of the day, it's just a word. And I understand that, it doesn't. I agree with PBD that when you're talking about someone like Nick Fuentes, who's, you look at him, you see a white guy, you hear him say the N-word, you cringe a little bit because that's what, mainstream media has taught you to do, and you can't say that it's a no-no word. Understandable. However, to sit here and say that you won't have him on, how can someone like Candace Owens platform Nick Fuentes, a black woman, can look past the fact that he's using that word, but PBD's trying to put himself on this high horse?
I can tell you why. Because he's scared. We have a clip to back it up.
You want to know who I think says the N-word? I'll say it online. I think Vinny does.
I think
Vinny said it for sure.
I think he says it. He
I think
said
Vinny
it before.
said it for sure.
Not
Vinny's
to trash him. He's my favorite person on that show. Well, Tom. I will say,
I think
Tom,
it goes Tom for me, and then it goes Vinny.
Tom's a fellow Catholic. God bless him. He's the rational guy.
Yeah,
on
Tom's
the
a good
set.
guy, and Tom always ratios
Yes,
Adam. Always.
Always.
Yeah.
But yeah, PBD is scared to have Nick on the show, so we're gonna play the video that shows why. Here we go.
So you can't be naive and not realize, oh my God, but look, that person's getting this many more retweets. And they got, what is the word? There's a phrase that if somebody puts a tweet below you and they get more, views. Ratio. They got ratio. Yeah, of course that's going to happen. You think if I'm on that side, I'm not going to put 1 million bots to work? There's places there's businesses for this. But if I have someone on that Israel is furious, like let's just say if I have Nick Fuentes on, you know what Israelis are going to say? So disappointed in you. I can't believe you sold out. I can't believe you did this. They're going to say those types of things, okay? And maybe even try to actually get the interview to be flagged, okay? Like when we had Tommy Robinson on Minnect, story came out from the Times. I don't know if you have the story, Rob. Type in the Times. The Times could type in Tommy Robinson to Times and Minnect, okay? So they did a massive story, the Times, okay? With the story. They came, I don't know if people know this or not, Instagram blocked the Minnect account from being able to run ads for a year because of this Times story. Tommy Robinson charging $20 a minute out of his personal coach to the far right, the self-styled anti-Islam activist, and this is from UK. They reached out directly to Facebook to have this happen to Minnect.
And there you go. That's why he's afraid of getting the episode flagged. He's afraid of censorship. I thought this guy was supposed to be a patriot.
I thought so too. But when you really dig into everything, I mean, I've listened to PBD. I have my opinions about the panel as a whole. There's parts of the panel that I enjoy. There's parts that I don't. I simply think that PBD walks over everyone on his panel.
He does.
He tells people to calm down. He doesn't allow people to finish their statements. He tries to kind of move along. He takes control of this situation where, obviously Nick pops up in his subtweets and they're starting to, go at it and whatnot. I just feel like for someone as so prideful as Patrick Bet-David to sit there and say, well, I'm not going to have him on because I'm worried about being flagged by the Israelis. After you say that the day after hosting Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister.
The most hated guy in the world.
Like, how the fuck does that make sense?
It doesn't.
You are worried that the Israelis are going to... Guess what? The Israelis might flag it, but you know who's going to love it? The fucking Americans. The ones who watch this show. Why are you worried about the Israelis? The people... You're talking about current events that are happening in America. Yeah, they're happening around the globe, but you have one Jewish guy on the fucking panel. Like, what do you care about the Israelis flagging the episode?
He's a guy claiming to be America first.
What do you care? What do you care? But you'll host fucking Candace Owens because she doesn't say the N-word. Yeah, she might be going at Israel. She might have some contempt for Israel.
She's also really dumb.
But but my point is you would be comfortable hosting someone like Candace Owens to come in there and talk about Israel, but you're uncomfortable with Nick Fuentes.
It's just a lie.
That does not make sense. I mean, of course it's a lie. It's a front. He doesn't want to be put on blast. He doesn't want Nick to go there. And also, I don't even want Nick to go there. I will say that firmly. Do I think that Nick would do a good job on there? Yes, but I have seen how interviews go there when you are not a Trump humper, when you are not someone who agrees with everyone on the panel. You're going to get backlash from Adam. He's going to yell. It's a 4-on-1 when you walk in there.
But it depends. Is it going to
If
be
he
a one-on-one interview like
correct.
the guy from Ben and Jerry's, which I thought was a really, really good interview? That guy's all the way on the left, borderline communist, but you were able to see his human side, and
Right.
you kind of liked him at the end of it. I don't know. If they do the 4-on-1, though, I do fear for Nick.
Right.
But nevertheless, I do think it's a show for good. I think it's a good show.
I mean,
but,
it's a conversation, and that's
right.
the other part of it.
And like they're so business heavy too in some parts of the show, which is very, very helpful when they talk about the market.
Right.
But I do agree with you. He does like to kind of talk over his co-hosts, and kind of shut them up.
Yeah, I don't think it would necessarily go well. I would say just steer clear of it. Keep ratioing him on Twitter. I mean, listen. I would say that for the most part, I had or have still respect for Patrick Bet-David. I think
Absolutely.
He puts on a great show. I think he does truly do a good job with the panel. They talk about a lot of good things, especially everybody on the panel like we talked about. Adam, probably my least favorite, simply because he's got some choice things that I don't necessarily agree with.
Agree.
It has nothing to do with him being Jewish, to be honest with you. It's just, I mean, he does like to protect Israel from time to time. We just saw the clip about the Israeli government official who, I mean, he was whatever. He worked in computer logistics or something for Israel, but he had a problem with the fact that the time that the headline read. Israeli government guy arrested for sexual sting. Oh, but there's 6 other guys, blah, blah, blah.
And then he calls out the Catholic Church out of nowhere.
Right. He's deflecting. Everybody on that show, or I should at least say PBD, but I've seen Vinny have some bad moments on there too. Everybody's going to have their bad moments. I think this is not a great moment for Patrick Bet-David. I don't think he thought when he tweeted out that he put the kids to bed and all this was happening that, it would go this way.
Yeah.
That was in the tweet that started it all off was, I'm putting the kids to bed. I'm going to respond to tweets about the interview for the next 30 minutes, and then kind of, got engulfed in what was going on with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, and to piggyback off at the beginning of the first video that we played, he was talking about Andrew Tate. Nick said that Andrew Tate's not all black. He's like half white, half black, and he uses the N-word, whatever, and that's why they were talking about Tate in the beginning. He was referencing to the leader of, I believe it was, what militia did PBD interview? He interviewed the head of the militia. It was one of the guys that wear the masks over their faces.
That's all of them.
Yeah.
The Proud Boys?
No, it wasn't the Proud Boys. It was the other one.
Is it a white militia?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. He interviewed one of the hosts, one of the leaders of one of those white militias, Freedom Watch or something like that, and he had them on, and it was like a good interview, yet he won't interview Nick. So that's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit weird. We'll see. We'll follow the development of that. If he goes on, he goes on. If not, oh well. Nevertheless,
I got a question for you, Luke, because
ahead.
I just I stumbled upon this tweet here, so I'm going to send it to you, and you can put it up on the screen. Do you think, now that we're talking about Benjamin Netanyahu and we're talking about Patrick Bet-David,
right.
I saw Benjamin Netanyahu wearing, the Israel flag on a pin, not sitting behind a U.S. flag or anything like that.
That's interesting. I didn't catch on to that.
Yeah, it was just a couple things that I was thinking about. It's a sign of respect. I mean, I understand that's your country, but you're also talking to somebody from the U.S. They're your greatest ally. I'm sure there's not a single U.S. flag other than where probably not a single U.S. flag being flown.
I mean, we run the country. We fund all of it, so.
Do you think that there's a U.S. flag being flown over in Israel anywhere?
Nope.
Okay, well, great. Well, the Beverly Hills School District, that would be in California, has approved a resolution requiring Israeli flags to be displayed across all campuses in May. What do you think about that? Any hot takes off the top of the dome? I'm throwing it in there. We weren't planning on it.
I mean, I can tell you who I think has lots of influence at that school. And it's not the Palestinians.
I'm sure it's not. Is it Hamas?
No.
The funders of Hamas?
No, it's not Iran.
No, it'd be the funders of Hamas.
Right.
The people who started Hamas.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Isn't it? Isn't that just weird that we bend over for another? I mean, could you imagine that being any other country?
Last time I checked, this is America.
Right. Last time I checked, the Holocaust happened because of Germans.
And it was tragic. The numbers are still being debated, but it was tragic.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It's something that they always use as a crutch, and now they use October 7th. The 1,200 Israelis that died on October 7th, in comparison to now a famine, a starvation, a genocide, an ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip. I mean, this is just insane.
They love to hide behind. I'm sorry to.
No, go ahead.
They love to hide behind the Holocaust, but like every racial group has been around for so long. This might sound dumb, but I'm going somewhere.
Go ahead.
Every single religious group, race, at one point or another in the history of the world has had a horrible thing happen to them, okay?
Yep.
You have this thing with the Palestinians now, which is tragic, which is genocide. You had the Holocaust, which was tragic, which was genocide. You had something like the Bolshevik-led revolution back in Russia when they had 20 million Christians that were killed. That was genocide. That was awful. So different religions, different ethnic groups from time to time can pick out something that's their crutch that they can use and say, hey, we were discriminated against. A mass group of us were killed. This does not mean you can excuse the actions in the present. That's all.
Agreed. I agree 1,000%. I